Wake up, sleepyhead, it's moving day.
Today was the big day. Ralph and I were moving out of my parents' house and into our own, along with my girlfriend Danielle and her cat Bella. After losing his brother Tom at the end of the year, Ralph was clearly yearning for a friend, but Bella maybe not so much. You may remember her from the fox video where she very casually sent a family of foxes running for the hills. She's 11, and Danielle's had her since she was just a tiny little kitten. Bella even had kittens herself when she was 2, none of which looked anything like her. But they all found new homes and she's since been spayed. And ever since, Bella's been living as the only cat in the household, so she's in for a bit of a shock when she meets Ralph. Ralph meowed every 2 or 3 seconds for the whole journey.
It's okay, buddy.
And then he meowed some more when I let him out again. For the first few days, he'd be confined to just one room. He'd likely be very overwhelmed by completely new everything, so the idea was to get him used to his own little safe space first, before then introducing him to the rest of the house, and then Bella.
All that meowing and he's tired himself out.
She was next door in her own room. And as predicted, both cats were pretty daunted by everything. And I guess we were too. This whole moving house thing was a pretty big deal. To just uproot yourself like a carrot and plant yourself into an entirely new vegetable patch. It was pretty overwhelming. I'm not normally a frivolous person, but there was so much stuff we needed to buy. And most of it wasn't even exciting stuff. Just things like doormats, bins, plates and bowls. All those delightfully boring things. And then there were the bills. Electricity, water, gas, internet, regular cat food, gourmet cat food. But after a few days, everything settled down, and so did Ralph and Bella. They were both fully relaxed and accustomed to their rooms, so it was finally time for them to meet. The idea was to introduce them to a new space at the same time, a room neither cat was familiar with or believed to be their territory. We also installed a pet gate to enable them to see each other face to face without the risk of attacking each other.
So Bella's going in the dining room with Danielle, and I'm going to put the gate across and go and get Ralph. Ralph. Hey buddy, it's time to go and meet Bella.
Now it's perfectly normal and expected for new cats to hiss at one another. They sort of need to get all the look how tough I am stuff out the way before any friendship can begin. It was actually the first time I've ever seen Ralph hiss. And it's amazing how evil it makes their faces look. But then Ralph and Bella seemed to settle down, trying to hide from one another. Danielle got Bella playing with a toy, whilst Ralph just sat there grumpily. So I tried another tactic, the key to Ralph's heart, treats. Eventually Ralph started playing with his favourite toy, in fact the only toy he's ever really played with, a catnip-filled pillow which someone very kindly sent him. But both cats seemed thoroughly disinterested in each other, and that's the way it continued for the next week. A few times a day, we'd get each cat in the room with the pet gate, and slowly they became more curious, staring at each other from a safe distance. And then for basically a month, nothing happened. We let both cats have the run of the whole house together, and were only separated when we went out. But frustratingly, they managed to consciously avoid each other this entire time. Seriously, they hardly ever came into contact. Fast forward another few weeks to now, and they're slowly getting used to each other. They started feeling comfortable enough to sleep in the same room together, which was an enormous step. And then this happened. And since then, Bella's obviously realised that Ralph doesn't want to eat her or anything, because they've even started sleeping on the same bed. Isn't that adorable? I mean, Ralph really wants to be friends, and Bella's still not entirely convinced yet, but this is looking incredibly promising. There is the occasional spat every now and then, but it's usually just Ralph spooking Bella and trying to get her to play. She's having none of it, but he can be pretty persistent. It's not all Ralph though. Sometimes Bella starts to play and they chase each other all over the house. Ralph's a bit quicker than Bella and she tends to sort of give up halfway, but it's really wonderful to see. And that's where we're at now. Ralph and Bella aren't exactly friends by any stretch of the imagination, but they do play together and tolerate each other enough to sleep on the same bed. And that's a really fantastic start. Now, before I wrap this video up, I've been inundated with comments and messages asking what will happen to Château de Ralph now that I've moved out. Well, I'm leaving it behind because it's got a new resident. Meet Coco, my parents' new kitten. She's 12 weeks old and was rescued by the same charity who rescued Ralph and Tom. She's friendly and cuddly and curious and playful, and just a wonderful bundle of joy and happiness with an incredibly loud purr. She's got mighty big boots to fill, but I'm sure she'll keep my parents on their toes now that Ralph and I have left. Plus, George will be delighted to have a new friend to share food with. I guess I'll just have to build Ralph and Bella a new fort, or perhaps an entire city. So it's finally time to announce the winners of last week's giveaway. Well done to everyone who correctly spotted the golden bear in front of the penguins. I know this curious penguin certainly noticed him. The 10 randomly generated winners are Sarah Celine Sandham, Ben Shaxson, Moosey, Lee S, Dee Proven, Eddie Evans, Ryan King, Jack Fletcher, Uzair Farouk, and Eric. Congratulations to everyone who won. Please email info@changechecker.org to claim your coin, and a massive thank you to ChangeChecker for setting this up and providing the prizes.